bringing you something new, something we're going to bring to you every single week. And this is a design challenge. We're going to do 30-minute time, and we're going to set it up in a minute. We've put in our stories on Instagram today which wallpaper you want to see me design live here on Photoshop. So stay in, because we're going to explain the tips, the hints, the tricks to designing a wallpaper, and you voted for Thiago Alcantara. So stay locked in, because there's going to be a download link at the end of the video so you can download this wallpaper for free for your phone. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Boom! Okay. So, welcome to everybody. Thank you to everybody that is tuning in today. Really appreciate you tuning in. I'm not going to be popping comments up too much once the show begins. We're bringing you this show every week, live wallpaper design challenge, because I've got a 30-minute timer that I'm going to set. So fingers crossed I can get the design done in time. This design will be available at the end of the show. But big up to everybody who is listening. Philip Bidwell saying, you're late. Phil, give me a break, bro. Give me a break. James the Brain saying, I've been late to my own funeral. What's all this about? Come on. Sean Doc, design me a Liverpool jersey. Someone needs to design those jerseys again, because they are abysmal this season. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get into the design challenge straight away. I'm going to talk you through little bits of things once I'm designing, so you can see the process, so you can learn along with me. Like I said, Thiago Alcantara has been voted for, so you can get over. The link is in the description. Once I've finished it, I'm going to save it and add it to the folder, so you can download it for your mobile phone for free. But without further ado, I need to jump into the shop that we call Photoshop, where we do most of our designs here at Kloppzone. And I'm going to ask my little friend Google to set a 30-minute timer as well. And then we'll get to talking and explaining what we're going to do. So here we are. We'll jump straight into Photoshop. The document setup, it's hard because there's so many different sizes of wallpapers that you can do. But we've gone here at the bottom, you can see the generic size for iPhones, for your iPhone 12, 13, we've gone 1,170 pixels by 2,532 pixels. And I like to design my designs all using 300 pixels per inch. Give it that nice crisp quality. Ooh la la, yes. I'm not going to be pinning comments up whilst I'm designing, but please feel free to drop comments in there, because what I'll do is at the end, I'll get to the comments. If you've got any questions about the designs and things like that, I will get to them. But without further ado, let's set the timer. Hey Google, set a 30-minute timer.
Okay, 30 minutes, and that's starting now.
Woo! So the timer started. What I've got here on the side, I knew Thiago was selected, so we've got a few Thiago images already saved. There's a lot of them, so I've got a range of choices just to save time, because I've only got 30 minutes. So I've got a range of choices in there just to save time. Some of them I've cut out and saved before, some of them I've not, so you might learn how to cut out during this tutorial. We've got design textures, we've got Anfield backgrounds, just in case I need to fill some things in. So let's see, let's jump in. I want a vibrant one today. I'm feeling a vibrant one. We're going Liverpool theme, so let me add, at the bottom here, let me add a solid colour. Let me get a solid colour in there. And as I always have, I've saved all the colours. So let's get the Liverpool red. Woo! Chris Bankley. Ain't nobody don't pass me so fresh and clean. let's just make a crazy pattern. Now, what I like to do, you probably see that the tools down this left-hand side, they change all the time. I know the shortcuts for them. So P is the pen tool, and I like to draw patterns on here. So let me take a look. Let's make just a random pattern. Let's go with, now to use the pen tool, you click. If you hold it down and drag, it curves the lines a little bit like that. So I like to use curved lines. Some people like to use the curvature pen tool, but I like just using a normal pen tool and getting stuck in there. Now, if it goes wrong, just press Command and Z. You can zoom in, zoom out. I don't know what pattern I want to go with. Let's just make something random up. Let's do this. Feeling this. Do you know what? This pattern I may end up deleting, but we're just going a bit random. We're going a bit random today. Like I said, designing is all about just experimenting with things. I always say to people, experiment. I don't even like that. I always say to people, experiment with things. What's the point in designing if you're not going to experiment? So I'm going to go again with this one. I'm going to create different shapes actually, and then I'll add the curvature pen tool. So I've got the sharp shapes. Now what I do is press Shift and P, and it changes the type of pen tool. So now I can go in here and I can curve the lines. It's a lot neater. It wasn't looking neat enough for me before. I'm a bit OCD like that. So this is a lot neater. I like that one. Let me add another one up at the top. So let's add a curve up here somewhere. Again, Shift plus P. That shit changes the brush or the pen or whatever you want to. It toggles between the things. I'll show you what I mean now. If I go over here, all these have within them, they have like 3 categories. So for example, the pen tool that we've just used, if I click there and hold down, there's all the different pen tool categories. But shortcuts are so important when you're designing. The shortcut you use is hold the shift button down and then press whatever key code for whatever tool you want. So this is P, so I press shift and P and it changes what pen tool I use. So I'm on the normal pen tool again. I want to add a few more shapes in there. Let's get a nice curved one up in here. Let's get something up here going right through the image. And again, like I said, it's all trial and error. So just try things. With design, it's not a formula that everybody's like, yeah, you've got to stick to that formula. It's all about expressing yourself and just being a bit bonkers, being a bit creative. Those of you that know me, I am a bit mad. I'm a little bit, just a little bit mad. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back on there. So I want to go vibrant with this one. Tiago. I was going to go Spain colours, but I think red is kind of Spain anyway. So it represents Liverpool too. So we go Spain and Liverpool. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm going to go with yellow, I think. So let's find a yellow. So if you double click on the shape, look, the shapes come up in layers here. So if I double click on this, I can change the colour. So for example, I can go vibrant red or I can go gold. I feel like I want gold. Now you can change those to gradients if you want to, so it goes from gold to yellow to gold to red or whatever you want to. Now a quick way of just changing the colors really quick, if you double click and then click on whatever color you want. So I want that yellow, I want it all to be yellow. So all you do again is touch the shape what you're on, double click the thumbnail over here, you double click it and yellow, boom, you're on the shape that you want. Okay, I'm feeling it a little bit. It's not great. It's not bad. We're mixing things up a little bit in here. What I want to do now is I think I want to start adding some background elements. So what I usually do for the background is I use landscapes, different things like that. So I've got some Anfield photos saved here. Now, there's different ways of adding them over the top or underneath. I want these to be underneath the shape layers. So if I drag them and put them underneath, watch. So here it's on top of the layers. You can see the layers on the side there. If I drag them and put that underneath, then it becomes underneath that layer. Now, it depends where you want it. I'm going to put it over here. Now, we can rub things out, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I've just brought the sizing tool up by pressing Command and T to resize that. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to change the blending mode. Now, at the top, if you select the layer at the top, there's blending mode boxes. Now, if you look at the image now, it changes the way that it blends. Now, they all mean a different thing. I'm not going to explain every little detail of it and what they all mean. All I'm going to say is the one that I use, so on the day, which one I want to use. Now, we could either use multiply to give a darker look. Screen is more lighter looks, brings the light tones out. Overlays blends everything. But I like luminosity, and all that does, it just takes all the color out of it, and it's just the light from the image that comes through. So I still keep that color in the background. Now, opacity at the top here, if you drag that down, that's see-through. Is it see-through? Is it not? But fill is a bit different because it changes the way the blend mode works. So I just want a little bit of a fill in there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a mask to it at the bottom. If I add a mask to that, brush tool. Now all my brushes are different, but I've got a normal round brush tool here. Flow to 100 so it doesn't fade out or anything like that. Now down here, change the color to black. If you click that icon there, it changes to black. Another way of doing it quickly is pressing X. If I press X, I can rub it out. Now, if I draw over this, what it does is when you're on black, it erases anything, but it's non-destructive. So, for example, rather than using a rubber, if you use this pen, it's got a mask over the top. And if you use a black pen, it rubs it out, but you can go back and add it back in if you want to. So, for example, look, it's rubbed all that out now because I've painted over black. Now, if I press X and it comes white, it will paint back over it in white so you can see the layer in there again. Now what I want to do, I want to add the other background. So I'm going to drag that down. I'm going to make it available. I'm going to press Command and T and make it a bit bigger in there. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, baby. Let's get Anfield in there, a little bit of the light. Boom. We want the same layer. So remember, blend mode at the top. Go down, luminosity blend mode. Bring the fill down a little bit so we still get that nice vibrant red in the back. Okay, I'm feeling it. Now, again, same as before, mask over the top. Then we press B, and then we rub out the areas we don't want because we don't want to cover over what we've just done. So we rub those areas out, and there we go. Now, you can change the blend modes to whatever you want to. You can change it to a darker one like this. That's nice. Linear burn, I like that. We'll change it to that. You can change it to whatever. And like I said, it's all about playing around with the different textures, the different tones, and just have a mess around. Now, I want to add Thiago's name in there somewhere, just to add a bit of texture to the background. So let's do a layer above everything else. So again, we bring it above everything else. Let's type in Thiago. Now, I want this to have like a paint stroke effect. So Command T, let me bring that on the screen. Now, when you press Command T, it brings a box up. You can change it. You can move things around. I want this going diagonal across the screen, but I don't want it bold. I don't want a Sanskrit. I don't want anything like that. I want something that's a bit paintbrush. So I've got a library of brushes. Now, what you can do here, if you go to properties in this panel, it brings up everything to do with the text. I want to look through my text brushes. Now, if you just hover over them, it changes your text. Now, I've got a lot of brushes here. Ooh, that's not bad, that. I've got a lot of brush effect. Now, you can download fonts from everywhere. Font Tree, DaFont, all free available fonts. All you've got to do is go on Google, type in free fonts or the font you like. So, for example, you might want like a brush font. So you might go brush fonts for free, and then it brings up loads of different websites that you can get them for free. And that's how I normally work. I do pay for some with my subscription to Adobe Photoshop. Now, honestly, I would swear by Adobe Photoshop because it is the best. And anyone who uses it will tell you it is the best software on the market for design, and especially if you want to do sports designs. We're going to bring you more and more sports designs every single week. So if you want to download it, you get a free trial for a month, I think it is, or 30-day free trial just to try it out. So you can design along with me, get in there, design along with me. I just want to change that shape in here a little bit. So let me click on that shape. I just want to make it a bit bolder here. Yeah, like that. So again, like I said, just join in. Feel free to download it for free. I'll put a link in the description to the download so you can go and get it and just play along. Come and join in, have a go. That's what it's all about. I like that font though. Look at that font. Boom! I like that. Let me get rid of that one. And what I'm going to do next is the font. I don't want it to just be bold. I want it to be interchanging with all the layers. So what we have is we've got a blend mode again, like we said at the top. We've got a blend mode, and it's called divide blend mode. Now, when you go on this one, let me just find it. There we go. Divide. It divides the colors. So, for example, and I know I'm explaining all. I'm against the clock here, but for example, what it does is you can subtract, you can exclude, you can do difference. Now, if you do divide, it takes the color that you've got and it divides it with whatever colors it's sat over. So, for example, everything in Photoshop is either colors, brightness, luminosity, things like that. The colors, say if there was a scale from 0 to 100, 50 would be your neutral color. So if it was 50, then the color just would be see-through. But then you've got 0 at one end, 100 at the other end. For example, I might choose the yellow now. If I go yellow again, now you can see when it's over the yellow, you can't really see it much. But if I chose blue, it would stand out a lot more. Now that changes with different blend modes that you have. So for example, subtract subtracts it, exclude excludes it, and difference is the difference between the colors. But I want to use divide for today. I think I'm going to go with I liked the black before. We'll go with the black still. And we'll have the Tiago going over the top. Now, again, you can change that to different things. You could have hard light. You can have this one or a light hard mix. Now, it just kind of brings out the color from behind. It's just different ways. Play around with different techniques. I'll do videos on these so I can explain all the different techniques to you so you can design along and play along with the techniques. The last thing I want is I want the number 6, but I might add that at the end. No, I'm going to do the number 6 now. I'm going to add the number 6 in there somewhere. I don't want it on Tiago, so I'll create a new layer. Click on here, number 6, and I want this nice and bold, but I want it to be thin. I want it to be subtle. The thing I love about designs are the subtle things. When I look through designs, I like subtle touches and different things that people have done that you may not notice with the naked eye, but when you go into it and you delve a bit deeper, subtle touches, amazing. Let me make this number 6 huge in here. And what I want to do, let me drag it out a little bit. Like I said, I'm winging this. I'm winging this, people. Like, join. I don't even know how many people are watching. Hopefully you watch this back and you can take tips from it as well. You can go through, try and create your own by using the tips. Now, I'm going to tell you a technique to get an outline of the text. It's a quick, easy technique, the easiest, quickest technique, and it's non-destructive. For example, you can change whatever number you want to, whatever letter, and it stays the same, the technique. It's an outline technique. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double click on the layer here. When I double click on the layer, I'm going to go to stroke. Now I want a white one. I've already got it. I use it that much. It's already saved. But I've got a white stroke. Now here you can change the size. Look, you can change it to massive. You can change it to thin. Now, like I said, I want a subtle white line. So I'm going to have it there around about 6. And I'm not going to change anything. You can change the color if you wanted to. You could change the opacity if you wanted to. So you could like change it up or whatever. But I'm going to keep it there. Now, the magic trick here is change the fill. So if you go on the fill and drag it from there to 0%, then you've just got the outline of the 6 and everything else is brought out from behind there. So the black isn't there. That's a little trick. Now, if I wanted to change the number, so for example, I might want a T for Tiago. You can change it to a T. I can change it to a 4. I can change it to a 5, and it's non-destructive. So you can change it to whatever you want to, and it stays the same. So that's a little trick for you in there. I like that 6. I like the background. All I need to add to the background now is a texture. I save textures. What I'll do is I'll create a design folder for you all with textures in. So, for example, scratch textures, spray textures, grunge textures, different things. It just adds that little bit of dynamic to your piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I liked this one. I want to use the scratch one. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to drag it and put it over everything I've just done apart from the 6. So here we go. I put it underneath everything. Let me close that layer. Now, what I'm going to do is make it bigger. So Command T, and I'm going to rotate it. Here at the top is the rotation box. I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees so it goes from landscape to portrait, and I'm going to drag it out. Now, to uniform scale, all you've got to do is hold down Option and then drag the box out, and it keeps everything to the same scale. Now, if you hold Shift, you can drag the edges in by themselves like this. Now, I don't like it. I don't like to skew anything. If you go wrong with anything in Photoshop, press Command and Z and it undoes. I don't know what the word is, but it undoes everything that you've just done. So, for example, if I wanted to undo that now, I'd press Command and Z to go back to what it was before I did that. I don't because I want to keep it, so I'm going to press Shift, Command and Z again to redo what I've just done. So that's a nice little shortcut for you in there. Now, what I want to do is I want to add a layer over this. I don't want it to be obvious. I want it to be a bit subtle. So again, there's loads of different options that you can go with. But again, for this one, I think I'm going to use a dodge I think I'll use a linear dodge. And what I'll do is I'll bring that right down and I will just drag it underneath everything else here so the texture is underneath. Now, again, try with different textures. That texture for me doesn't look quite right, so you can get other textures. I'll take that texture off. I may add a texture at the end. I didn't like that one because it looked a bit blurry. There's so many different textures you can use. Let's use a film texture. Drag the film texture underneath everything. Let me scale it up a little bit. Now, again, you can overlap everything. So you could overlap this film texture. You could do whatever you wanted with it. I want to use linear dodge. There we go. That looks so much better. We'll put that one in there. And again, I can copy that. Now, a quick way of duplicating something, you can either hold down Control or Command on a Mac and then press J. That duplicates. Or you can hold down the Option and then drag something. So, for example, if I wanted to duplicate this over here on the right-hand side, I would go to where the layer is. I'd hold down Option. I would drag it up, click and drag, and it duplicates the layer above it. I want 3 layers, so I'll use it. Now I'm going to just rotate layers and just see where they fit, see where they look nice. I'm going to put some down here. I'm going to drag this one, and I'm going to put it over on the other side. I'm going to spin it round and get it down here, over there, and add some textures. Now, what I'm going to do, you can see the lines there, and I don't quite like the lines. So all I'm going to do is just add a mask again, use the black brush, and we can brush those lines out. So any lines that we don't like we've just seen there, we can brush the lines out and get rid of them. Again, add texture onto anything, rub the lines out. Perfect. There we go. Let's add another one to the bottom, to the top one. Mask, rub this out in here, and there we go. No lines anymore. Nice and neat. Looking good, Thiago Alcantara. Now it's time for actually putting Thiago Alcantara in there. So let me just get rid of that line a little bit. Now, a secret for example, then when I just rub that out, it looks messy. If you go up here and reduce the flow to 1%, what you can do is you can rub it out and it fades it slightly. So you can you see how that line starts to fade slightly? You can color, you can paint, and you can rub it out. So that's a little tip as well. I'm giving you so many tips today. You guys, you are so lucky today. Right, let's start getting Thiago in there. So I want to add a few Thiagos. I want to scale them in size. Hey, Google, how long is left on the timer? 11 minutes. Woo! So I better get a move on. So let's see which Thiago we want in there. I want a big one at the top. So let me take a look what I've got here. And then I can make my mind up. Different Thiagos that I've got. That's not a bad one. I like this one. So let's put this one in at the front. This is going to be my little main one down here at the bottom. So we'll put Thiago in here at the bottom. And again, like I said, it's above everything else. So we want to keep him above all the background layer we've just done. What you can do is you can add groups. So if I click on that, hold down Shift, go right to the bottom, press Control or Command on a Mac, and then G. That's a shortcut to group everything. Then I can double click on that and type in background. There we go. I've grouped the background. So now I've added Thiago in there. Let's see what other Thiagos I've got. I like that one. I'm going to add this Thiago in over here. So let's put him in over here. Let me shrink him a little bit. Now again, I'm going to change a few things about this and fade them in, fade them out. Remember, I've only got 30 minutes. But if it takes longer, it takes longer. But I'm trying to complete it within 30 minutes. So the show's not too long. What other Thiagos have we got? Now, again, images. You can get your images from Google. You can get your images from, there's a great site for already cut out images with transparent backgrounds called futtyrenders.co.uk. I'll put them in the description to this video because that's a great site if you want to get any football stock images and you want to use them in your designs. Let me show you what I just did then. Sorry, I've just removed the background. So, for example, if you've got an image, now some images come in as smart objects. That means if you look over here, it's got like a little paper sign on the thumbnail at the side where you can see here where my hand is, a little thumbnail. So that's not got one. That means that's a rasterized image. That's a flat image. Now, if it was a smart object, so let me convert that to a smart object. If that was a smart object, what I can do is right click on the layer, scroll down, and I want to rasterize the layer. I've rasterized that. Now, in properties, there's a cute little shortcut that you can all use. It's called remove background. And what it does, it takes the background off any image as best as it can. So if you look at that now, the background's gone from Thiago. That's nice and smooth. I really like that. And what you can do is click on the mask over here. Like we said, it's created a mask. So we can draw on it. We can paint on it. So for example, if I brought the brush tool up and I wanted to remove some of this, I can start painting like that, nice and soft. And it removes all those edges that we don't want to be seen within the design, and it starts to fit in with the piece. Again, you can bring those edges back if you wanted to. You just got to press X to change it to a white brush, and you can paint some bits back in there just like this and make him a bit more bold. But I really like it like that. I like it like this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save that now as a smart object. Now, it's very important that you save everything as a smart object because it's non-destructive. You can change anything about it. You can go back to whatever you've done. You can add elements, take elements out. So again, I right-click on that. And what I'm going to do now is convert that to a smart object. Now I can play around with it. I'm going to move it. I'm probably going to put this one right up here at the top. I might make it a tiny bit smaller. There we go at the top. And I want a couple more images to put in there now. And then we're ready to edit the images. Now, this is probably going to go over 30 minutes, but it's because I'm trying to explain as I go. Maybe next time I just do a design challenge where I'm not explaining. But again, we want to teach you. We want you to learn how to design a little bit because we feel like that's important. It's important. Let's get Thiago in here. Let's shrink him down a little bit. Let's have a look how that looks in there. If I spin him round. I don't want him overlapping on the face. I don't want him on the face too much. Maybe a tiny bit isn't bad. Now, what I want to do is put him underneath the others. So if I drag him down to underneath all those layers, there we go. We move him to underneath. And there we have Thiago Alcantara. Again, let me just make him a little bit smaller. He's a little bit too big in there. I'm going to remove as well. I'm going to blur out some of his legs so it doesn't look messy. I'm going to move this one a little bit higher up and make it a bit smaller. Again, it's all trial and error. It's about looking at it with your eye and thinking, does that look right? Does that look wrong? What do you think I should do? Just have a look at things when you're doing them because more often than not, you gauging it by your eye is so much better than being technical. It's all about how it looks at the end of the day. And if it doesn't look right, there's no point in doing it. Thiago, do I want this one? Oh, I'm stuck on which one I want now. I like that one. I'm going to use that one, but I'm going to spin it around. So let me just bring that one to the front so I can see what's going on. Again, remove background because it's already rasterized. Come on, background. Boom, background removed. And then you can move it around. Look, you can play with it. I want to press Command. I want to right click and convert it to a smart object. And I want to spin it around. So I'm going to press Command T and I'm going to go on the width at the top. And I'm going to put -100 and that just switches it. So it rotates it because I want him to be facing that way around. I'm going to bring him behind the other things. I'm going to bring him behind everyone actually, apart from the big face. And then I'm going to slot him nicely in here. Now, what I'm going to do, you're not going to see the name backwards. You're probably thinking, yeah, but his name's backwards. That's not going to matter because I'm going to add some text that's going to block everything out. Like I said, this show might go on a little bit longer. I'm trying to do the 30 minutes, but I want to explain to you because, like I said, I want to come on here and I want to help you come up with designs and be creative and explore your design skills and not just mine. So what I want to do now is I'm going to add some text. So let me close those, keep those boxes open actually. Anything I don't want to use now, I'm going to get rid of it. So I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Anything I'm not using, I'm going to get rid of it because I've got the things that I want to use. Now I'm going to add some text in there. So let's get a Thiago text above the top. So if I click in here, come on, Mr. Thiago, why are you being slow? Just clicked on the number 6. I don't want that. So let me create a new layer. To create a new layer, press plus at the bottom. So you press plus. Let me click over here. You've got to be wary of, sometimes it will click on the text that's already there. So sometimes you have to just click on the eye tool to remove everything, and you can bring it back up just so you can add in what you need to add, because sometimes it clicks on the things that are open underneath it. Let me get Tiago, but now I want this text to be nice and thick and bold. So I'm thinking this might not even be thick enough. Orbitron black. Let me see what that looks like. I'm going to bring it into place. Now I want to rotate it. I want all the text to be going down. So let me rotate this by 90 degrees like I just did before. Let me scale it again so it's in place. Boom, 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 boom. Now, let me see where I want it. Yes, I like it. Tiago, I'm going to have it white. Now, what I've started doing lately, I've done glitch effects. I love glitch effects. So I'm going to teach you how to do a glitch effect in a little moment. So bear with me. I'm going to teach you how to do a glitch effect in a little moment. But I want to type in now, Tiago again. I might have Alcantara now. I don't know. What should I use? I'm not sure. But I'm going to put that now underneath those first three Tiagos. So see, 1, 2, 3 Tiagos. I'm putting this text now underneath. Layers are like, it's literally like an onion. If you put it underneath something, it will go underneath it on the document. If you put it over something, it will go over something on the document. So again, keep rearranging, keep adjusting, and have a play around with everything in there. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to grab this, Control and Command T. I'm going to expand it out. So I want this to be big. In fact, I want this to be Alcantara. Let's type in Alcantara. You double click on the thumbnail and it'll highlight it. Alcantara. There we go. I'm going to press Command and T, and I'm going to put Alcantara in here. Okay, I'm feeling this now. Starting to come to life. Now, again, I'm going to add a bit of fade to these so they don't look too bold. It's going to be subtle. We want another Tiago. I'm going to put another Tiago in there somewhere. So again, I can click on this layer. I can press Option and I can drag it. That duplicates it. I want another Tiago somewhere in there, but I want it just behind everything. Let's make it a bit bigger. Tiago Alcantara. Now, what I do before I design, sometimes I write ideas down. So I knew I was doing Tiago, so I've wrote some color ideas down. I've wrote like glitch text. I've put layered text in there, just as an idea of everything that I wanted to go in there as well. Do I need another Alcantara or another Tiago? I feel like I want a yellow one in there somewhere. Let me put one. Let me put one above this one again, but under there. Let me put a Tiago here. Tiago. Let me move it up, and I want this one to be yellow. I'm going to shrink it a little bit, make it a bit smaller. I want this one to be yellow. Again, you can play around with anything in text. You can change the thickness, the style, whatever you need to change. You can change it. Colors, to change colors, you just click on the colors. You can change the colors around a little bit. So like I said, whatever you need, you can change the colors. Now, you're probably looking at this and thinking, it's not finished. Like, why does it look like that? We're going to show you the most important thing in design. It's finishing things off and adjustment layers. This one's going to be way over 30 minutes, but I want to show you how to design properly. I want to make sure that you go away thinking, whoa, I've learned a bit. I don't even know if anybody's watching right now because I'm just in the zone. You might watch this back. If you do watch this back, appreciate the love. Please share it, hit the like, hit subscribe. If you like this video, I'm going to give you the link to get this design for your wallpaper once we've finished. Hey, Google, finish the timer. The timer's up. If I wasn't talking, I'd probably get it finished, but I want to show you a bit behind the design process. It's not just about trying to complete the challenge. I want to show you a little bit behind the design process. So let me show you now what I want to do. So everything's in there. All the elements are in there now. I just want to show you how to make glitch effects, how to edit your images and different things like that. So let me click on the images first. I just want to make sure that everything's rubbed out that I want to be rubbed out. So again, to add a mask on a layer, we add a mask here by clicking this icon. That's the mask icon. add a mask, and then B brings the brush tool up again. Remember, black removes, white adds. So you can remove things and rub it out. If you click to white, it adds it back. So I'm on black right now because I want to start rubbing his leg out here and make the brush a little bit bigger. I don't want his arm to disappear. I just want some of his body to disappear there. I'm going to have some of this disappearing as well over here. There we go. I like it a lot. Now, the other one, I want to click on this, click this one, add another mask to him. Let me get this mask brush tool, and I will erase bits of this one as well. So again, they're starting to blend into each other now. Let me move it across a little bit. Let me zoom in so I can see what's going on. Let me move across a little bit in there. Boom. Thiago Alcantara. I want to rub his leg out because his leg just looks stupid over there. Let me rub his leg out. I just want this Thiago at the bottom to be prominent. Let me rub his arm out as well. His arm doesn't need to be coming across there. Beautiful. So it's looking good now. It's looking good. Just this last one to do. Let me just change it so he's tilting out a little bit more. Let's get his head out there a little bit more. Make him a little bit bigger. Yes, yes, yes. I'm liking that. Now I'm going to get the mask tool, press the brush. I'm going to erase the bits I don't want to erase again. There we go. Nice fade. Let's get all this side off because we don't need any of that side on. Let's erase his name in there and let's go and erase his head that's behind this text in here. Perfecto. There we go. So that bit's gone. Thiago. Woo, it's looking all right. I'm impressed. It's not too bad, people. Anyone would think I knew what I was doing. I want to make that a little bit bigger because I want them to scale up in size. It doesn't look like it's scaled up from this one. So I'm going to press Command and T, make it a little bit bigger over here, bring him across a bit more, bring him down a bit so it's like it leads your eye to the different Thiagos. I'm going to bring this one. Let me bring this one up here a little bit more. So he's a bit more central. Much better. That's looking a lot tidier, a lot neater. And make this one a bit bigger, eh? Let's just do that. Boom. My guy, Thiago, what are you saying? Again, it's all about tidying things up. What I might do once I've finished, I might clean it all up a little bit more. But we've gone over the 30 minutes, so I want to show you that was the part we got up to. We got up to here in 30 minutes. Let me just add some of that back in there. There we go. Perfect. Right, now, these are the important parts. These are the finishing touches that you're going to add to your designs. So what I want you to do is everything you've just done there individually. Sorry, I just messing around with that. Everything that you've just done individually, you're going to make them into smart objects. Now, to make them into smart objects, anything with a mask over here on the right, click on the layer, right click, and then convert to smart object. It won't delete anything. You can go back and change anything. If you double click on these thumbnails like that, it'll bring it up in a separate window so you can edit it separately in that window. And all you do is press X and it sends you back to the design and it'll make changes. So remember that. It's a great way of changing things without destructing them, and it will update it in the image that you're playing with. Convert everything that's got a mask to smart object. Here we go. Just converting all these to smart objects. Perfecto. So we've got all our Thiagos completed. Now, I want to edit the Thiagos. Then I'm going to edit the glitch effects, and then I'm going to finish it all off for you. So most of you would probably be happy with this. I understand that. Thiago's head's annoying me a lot there. So let me just sort his head out a little bit there. Let me sort his head out. Press B again. So look, you've got the mask over here. Press B again. His head's a little bit wavy. Now I want to bring the flow right up because I want to rub this out like an actual rubber. So I'm going to rub this out in here. I'm going to drag it along. I'm going to make it smooth. I don't want it all bobbly. I'm going to make it smooth. Again, you can go back over it with white to add bits back in, but that's not looking too bad. Beautiful. Now I'm going to show you what I mean by that'll change to the original design. Let me just get that bit there. Let me get his lip here. Make sure it's all perfect. Get rid of some of that. Now what I'm going to do, if I click Command and save or Control and save if you're on Windows, that saves that image that you've just edited. Once I X that now, look, it's updated in this. So it's got rid of the bobbly lines. It's updated over here. Beautiful. I love it. So let's start editing these Thiagos then. Now I'm going to give you loads of little tips when you're editing different things. So let's start with, in fact, we'll start with the big one and you can see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about change. So the big Thiago, I've clicked on the layer. You can either click on the layer or you can click on the image itself. I've clicked on the image. Now, up at the top here, this is where I want to play around. I play around in image. So I'll go to image and I want to add an adjustment layer to it. So I'm going on adjustment layers and I love shadows and highlights. Now we go on shadows and highlights. You can see the change already because it saved my settings. I bring the amount down and you can have a play around now. So you can bring the shadows out and really give it that kind of cartoon, beautiful finish kind of like painted look. That's what I like to do. Highlights again, you can add highlights so it brings color into his cheeks. As you can see, it's changing lots of different things. And this is what really finishes off your designs. I'll show you different adjustment layer added to this in a second. Let me make the shadows a little bit higher. There we go. Let's bring this highlights down. We don't need the highlights so high. Add a bit more depth to him. And there we go. So I like that as it is there. Now, I'll show you what we've done there. So if I can click the eyedropper tool and I can take that off, bring it on. That's what we've just done. So we've brightened it up straight away. You can see how we brightened it up immediately. I'm going to do it with every image. But first, let me show you what else I do. I go in the image and go into brightness. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the brightness down a little bit. And I'm going to bring the contrast up to really give it that popping color look. There we go. Beautiful. So there we have it. There's the new looking Thiago, looking sharp, looking crisp. Again, look, that's what it was like. That's it now with the new edits made to it. And again, you can play around with lots of different things. I'm going to show you something else in a second. But what I want to do is add that technique to everything. So let me click that one. Again, go to images, adjustments, shadows, play around with the shadows, really make it pop. The more you increase the shadows, the more cartoon-like it will go. Highlights, not as much, because highlight sometimes makes them look a bit too tanned, but you still need to make them look like they've got colour in the cheeks. So again, have a play around. It's what you think looks right with the eye. Image, adjustment, brightness, contrast again. Brightness down, contrast up. And there we go. Look, it's adding that depth. Now it's looking like the design's coming together now. The colours are popping. It's looking nice and bright. Different elements adding together. Again, I want to click this one. Do the same with this one. Image, adjustments. Now, what you can do, if you're happy with the last one you've just done, over here, you've got a little filter icon. So what you can do is go to that filter, hold down Option, and drag the filter onto the image you want it to. So if you watch Thiago there, the one with last season's kit on, it'll change now. If I drop that filter on there we go. So I could use that. That looks pretty good. Looks a bit sharp. What I can do is go in there. Maybe I want to decrease the contrast a little bit. Sorry, that's the wrong image. And what I want to do is go in there, go on the contrast, take the contrast down, maybe a touch, bring the brightness up a little bit as well. And there we have it. That I'm happy with that one. I'm happy with that Thiago. Then again, same again. Let's do it again, see if it works. Option. Then we drag the filter onto the next layer. Beautiful. Now Thiago's updated. You can see a nice quick way to really make things pop. Again, bottom layer, click on it. Let's do it again. Option, drag it onto the boom. Beautiful. Now the colours are popping. It's looking sharp. Now we just need to put some more finishing touches to it, and then the design will be done. I'm not that 100% pleased with this one. So let me bring the shadows up a little bit more in here. Let me bring the contrast up. Now brightness and contrast. It just doesn't fit in with the others. I want to bring it a bit brighter. There we go. It's looking good now. It's looking good. Right now, with the fonts, what I want to do is add a glitch effect. So if I click on that, it's the top font, Thiago. If I double click the layer, what I can do, I want to take off red and take off blue, okay? Now it's changed to yellow, but don't worry about it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Option. I'm going to add another layer above it. The same one, but another layer above it. And I'm going to double click it again. I'm going to take off green this time and add red. Okay. Now we do the same again. Option, layer above it, double click, take off red, add blue. Oh, look, it's back white because all those three layers are blending in with each other now. Now, to create a glitch effect, go to the second layer and make sure you've got the movement tool selected. To do that, shortcut is V for the move tool. Now, if we zoom in now, you'll see this glitch effect happen. All I want to do is I want to move the second layer down a little bit. So look, oh, there we go. Move the second layer down. A bit of a glitch is happening. Now I want to go to the top layer, move that one up. Okay, now you can see the glitch effect. So when we zoom out, the Tiago's got a glitch effect. Now you can do that in any way, shape, or form. So I'll show you again. I want to do that with another font. So this Alcantara, I want that to be glitched as well. So again, double click, red off, blue off. Okay, then we bring a layer above it. Command J, that's a quick option to add a layer. Then I'm going to go just red for this one. Then I'll go Command J again, double click, just blue for that one. Take the red off, add blue for that one. And again, go to the middle layer. Let's go up with this one. So this one's gone up this time. Then we go to the top layer. This one's going down. And again, you can move them wherever you want to. So look at the glitch effect on that now. The colours are popping. It's so vibrant. Absolutely love it. We're going to do the same with Tiago. Now, it does it with whatever colour you use. It doesn't matter if it's white. It doesn't matter if it's yellow. You can do it on any colour. So again, this is a yellow colour. Let me just bring two of those above there. Let me change the bottom one again to green. Bang, to green. Then I'll change the second one to red. Then the third one to blue. Now, RGB, these channels, RGB are what makes colours. So, for example, you've got R means red, G is green, and blue, and B is blue. Those colours together make a neutral colour, make white, okay? Now, when you play with them, they create different colours. So when you move them and interchange them, that's what makes the glitch effect, because it's different colours interchanging with each other. The middle layer, let me go on the middle layer. So again, let's create a glitch effect. You can see with the Tiago here. Absolutely love that. Let me go on to the top layer. Let me move it out a little bit. Now that yellow doesn't pop as much, but again, it still makes that glitch effect over here. Now, some people might like to do a kind of moving text. So let me show you how you could do that. Highlight all those, press right click, convert to smart object. Now we've converted that to smart object there, as you can see. Now what we can do, we can add an adjustment layer to it, whatever one we want to. We can add overlay, we can add color dodge, linear dodge, whatever you want to. I'm going to add, I might have screen. I'll do a screen. Now, I'm going to add a movement blur to this. So filter, blur, motion blur. And what I'm going to do, you can see it looks like the text is moving. Really effective when you're doing glitch effects. So again, that's a little technique that you can use. I want to do the same with this Tiago text. And then we can focus on the full image then. And then we're nearly done. So the Tiago one, all I want to do with this one, I don't want to glitch. I just want the text to be moving text. So again, I'm going to right click. I'm going to convert it to a smart object. I'm going to go to filter again when this pops. So up at the top, filter. I'm going to go to blur. And again, motion blur. And that blurs the text. I want a big motion blur on this one, though. There we go with Tiago Alcantara. And there we have that one with Tiago. Now, this is the bit that I enjoy the most. I don't know if most designers do, but the bit I enjoy the most, I'm just going to add a little mask here whilst I'm talking to you. The bit I enjoy the most is to finish it all off and do the color adjustments, to do the saturations and things like that. I'm going to show you some good techniques to use to adjust colors, to amend colors, and different things like that. So I'm going to show you some good techniques. Let's just add a shadow first of all for Tiago, because it looks like he's floating. So again, to add a shadow underneath, so you want to go underneath the layer. There's a layer here. Go underneath, add plus, press B. That's the brush tool. Now I've already got, why is B not pressing? There we go. I've already got one saved. If you click the folder, there's loads of saved. Look how many brushes I've got. I've got hundreds of brushes saved. But I've got a shadow one. Now all I do for shadows is I make the brush really thin, I zoom in, I make it 30% opacity, and I make it 100% flow. And all I do, change the color to black. A quick way to change colors, that's on red now, is press D, and that changes it to the neutral colors again to black. Now here, I want to add the shadow under the ball. So again, there's the shadow adding under the ball. You might need to click a few times, just whatever you think looks right underneath the ball. Then I'm going to make it a bit bigger, so the shadow's a bit larger under there as well. A bit more where his foot is over here to really give that impression that his foot's next to the ball. I like that one. Let's get to his other foot over here. So again, underneath. And it's just about being creative, getting a design eye on it. Have a look and think, what's missing? Is there a shadow missing? Where should the shadow be? Different things like that. Back of his foot there. Now, make it a bit bigger so we know as it gradually goes up, we can see the shadow. Now, if you look, looks nice with the shadow. What I'm going to do, I just want to remove, let me just remove the grass from under the ball because that just doesn't look right. So I'm going to add a little mask there, and I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to have to restart on the shadows because the shadow's in the wrong position under the ball. So again, let's get rid of the shadow. We'll start again with the shadow, add a new layer. There we go. B. Now start adding shadows under the ball. This will look a lot more realistic when you see it this time because the grass isn't there. Much better. Hit where the foot is. Love it. Much better. Add some shadow under this foot again. Spread it out. Boom. Now let's have a look. Now, some people, what they might do is they might like to add a shadow underneath Tiago to make it look like that. They might add a shadow underneath. I don't necessarily do that. I just like adding shadows under where the things are. Now, to make it look more realistic, you can do the opacity down if you wanted to. If the shadow, you don't want it too strong, you can play with the opacity like this. What you can also do is you could add shadow under the ball, shading under the ball. We're not going to do that today. Now, to finish this off, what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom out. It's looking good, looking good. I could add lighting to this. I could add levels to this. We've not really got time to do all that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to round everything up, and we could maybe look at levels and different things another day. So above everything that you've done, if I close all the tabs now, above everything that you've done, click on the top layer, and I want you to press Shift, Option, Command, and E. Now that flattens everything. So it flattens everything out. So all that now is one image. What I want to do is convert it to a smart object, convert to smart object, and then I want to go to filter and then camera raw filter. Now what I can do is play around with the whole image as a whole rather than the individual elements. So this brings this up. What I like to do is just have a play around with the exposure, maybe bring it up, maybe bring it down, play with the contrast until it looks right. So you're just looking at how you can make a difference to the image. So bring the shadows up. I always like to bring the shadows up. Gives it that nice cartoon finished effect. Whites, blacks, you can change whatever you want to. And again, in a minute, we're going to change the colors so it brings the piece all together as well. Textures, it's up to you if you want the textures high, textures low. It's entirely up to you. The clarity of the image as well, how much you want it to pop. Like I said, texture is all the little textures. So, for example, like his beard, his skin, if I bring that up, look, it brings the texture out in the skin. As you can see, it brings it down in the skin, makes it look smoother. I like to show textures because it gives it that 3D popping effect, and clarity just adds to that 3D. It decreases your shadows, increases your highlights, and really brings the clarity to everything and makes it pop. But just take a look at that now. Looking good. Vibrance, again, I like to bring my vibrance right up, and then sometimes I drop the saturation down, but it's still got that kind of the color popping, you know what I mean? So the color's still popping, it's not oversaturated, but you still got that vibrant look to it. That's what I like with mine. Again, there's so many things to play around with. I'm not going to play around with anything else. What I do sometimes is I add a bit of grain to the image just to kind of bring everything together. Maybe, and you can change the size of it, change the roughness of it, however you like to. And then a vignette, I usually add a little bit of a black one. You might want to do a white one in this instance, but it's a bright image. We'll have a little bit of white. Okay, done there. Now you'll see the difference. So that was what we saved it as. That's the difference we've already added to it. So it's already looking a lot sharper, a lot cleaner. There's more to go. If we go down here now and we go on this little icon, this brings up your adjustment layers, but you can add them above and click them two things. So rather than going up here to add them, you can add them from down here. So I'm going to add an adjustment layer. My favorite one, selective color. Now, when I go on selective color, I can play around with the colors now. So I want to play around with the reds. There's a lot of red in this. Now it changes the whole colors of everything. So again, you can bring your reds up, your reds down. Now I want to bring my reds just about there. And again, you can play around with everything. You can make it yellow, make it red. Have a play around, and you really want to make it pop. Look at that, beautiful. Change it pink, make it even more red. I want to keep it just in the middle, a little bit towards the... Now, if you look at this, what it's doing is it's changing the red color only. So it can change the red to cyan, which makes it dark. It changes it to magenta, which can make it a little bit more pink. The yellow, you can make it yellow, the red, yellow, and the black at the end is whether you want it to be faded light or you want it to be dark. We don't want it to be too extreme. Maybe bring it a little bit darker. There we go. Now play with the yellows. Again, same aspect. You can turn it green. That's cyan if you wanted to, or you can keep it up here with the yellow. You can turn it magenta over there. So again, you're just playing around with things and experimenting. Like I said, there's no real formula to it. It's just about what you like and what you think looks good. Blacks, whites, again, how you feel looks good for the image. I like that there. And then there's greens. There's no greens in this image, so I'm not going to change that. There's a few magentas in the image, but again, that's just if you can see on the glitch, that's where the magenta is. So I like the glitch effect, so I'm going to keep that. Now, this bit is what I like, the shadows, the blacks. So you can change all the blacks in the image. Now, there's not a lot of darkness in this image, but what I do like is I like to change it just to kind of fit it all in, to give it a nice matte finish. So if you look, you're giving the blacks where his nostrils are, where his hair is. You're giving it a bit of a fade, a bit of a shadow. There you can see a lot better. I like that. There's a couple more things we need to do. Maybe you want to change the whites. I like keeping the whites as they are. I don't really play with the whites because that's your highlights, that's your lights in your image. We'll keep that where it is. Curves adjustment layer to finish it all off. So curves adjustment layer, I normally bring it up here, create an S, and that gives it that film poster kind of finish that I always like to do and play around with the curves. But again, I'm going to do tutorials on all of these different things so you can really see what makes a good design and makes a good image, if you know what I mean. That side brings the whites down. You want to keep the whites up. Now, there's one last thing that I'm going to do before we finish. I'm going to make Thiago's eyes pop. So I'm going to make his eyes look good. Look, there we go. Look at this. Nice little wallpaper. Nice, quick little wallpaper for the day. I'm going to go up here again, add another curves, and I'm going to make his eyes pop. So if we bring that right up here, and then on the adjustment layer, press Command and I, it turns it black, so it turns it off. Then again, we want the white tool. Let's get a nice round brush, make it 100 and 100. And what we want to do is make sure it's on white. It's on black over here. So click X, takes it to white, go to his eyes, look where the light is. Just make it the right size. And I want to just bring the light out in his eyes. And when we zoom out, Thiago's eyes. Look at that. Looking beautiful. Do you know what? I'm happy with that for today. I want to just add a bit of color balance just to show you what the color balance does. Color balance, shadows, changes the shadows a little bit. Just finishes, like I said, these adjustment layers are perfect for just finishing your piece off. It makes a world of difference, and I'll show you how much difference it's made. Once I go off this, I'll show you how much difference it has made to the image, because you can switch it all off if you want to. Again, it's non-destructive. By adding these as layers, they're non-destructive. If you just added this to a flat image, you wouldn't be able to change it, but because we've added them as layers, it's beautiful. It makes it, like I said, non-destructive. Loving it. Nearly finished. And there we go. So again, I'm going to group these so you can see that's with the layers, that's without. So that's the image we had. Now we've added layers. Look at the pop on that. The colors have come out. Everything's nice and bright. Bang. Now, what some people do, they like to like gradient maps or whatever, but that's the finished image. I save it always as a PNG if I'm using it as a wallpaper. If I'm posting it on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, I'd save it as a JPEG because JPEG files are JPEG files are generally a lot smaller. So there we have it. Tiago Alcantara wallpaper done for you. What I'm going to do is save that. I'll add it to a folder. I'll send you the link. I'll put it in the description. The link's already there in the description of the video. I'll add it to the file so you can access that after this show. Let me get back on here so I can see who's in the building, who's been watching. Let's have a look what people have been saying. You're liking Tiago Alcantara. Let me get it off. I'll put it back up in a minute. I want to speak to some people. Let me see who's been in the building. Gives Klopp. Is it true Mo get injured yesterday? No, please. We don't want Mo to be injured. Delete the yellow, says Bogdan. Guys, smash the likes on this. I don't think you realize the knowledge and free skills Ash is dropping right now. Appreciate that from the Jerry James show. Like I said, it's only been an hour long. We did try and make it a 30-minute design challenge, but in the end, I wanted you to get a bit out of this. So hopefully you got a bit out of this. Really appreciate it. Paul Donnelly, yes, I'm a graphic design student, so it's great to see Ash at work and learn things I haven't tried yet. Amazing. Love that. Been waiting for a tutorial, says Reds Arena. Look, we're bringing you one every week. We'll be bringing you different tutorials as well based on different things. So if you want skin softening, if you want highlights and lighting, I'm going to bring so many different tutorials and help you along the way. So if you're a sports editor, what I'm going to do is we can go from beginner to advanced together. So if you want to start out, I suggest that you download Photoshop for free. You get a 30-day free trial. We'll try things together and we'll build your skills up week on week. You can access these via YouTube. Always make sure you credit people's designs. You guys are seeing the work that goes in. So true. And like I said, I've just credited some people where I get my sources from. So Footy Renders is an amazing site for free cutouts of the players. All they ask is if you donate. It is free. You don't have to donate. I like to donate sometimes just because it's such a good website. So make sure you go over there, grab some things from there. Brush Easy is a great free site for your brushes for Photoshop. So yeah, just like I said, get over there. Sean Dock, beautiful. Thank you, Sean Dock. James, like and subscribe. The content you've received here is invaluable, I think he means. I've honestly never appreciated the work and effort that goes in until I have seen it in progress. Thank you very much, James, saying exactly. Thank you so much. People do crop the logos out. Don't do that. Please keep the logos in. Great stuff, Ash. Copites together. Appreciate it. Like I said, we've just created together this design. Tiago Alcantara. So we've just created that design. I'm going to save it now. I'm going to hop in. I'm going to save it. The link is in the description so you can get into the file, the folder where this will be. So please make sure that you get in there, download this for your phones. Please tag us in it as well. I'm not going to put my logo on this one because it's free for you all. You can see the design process. Watch this video back if you want little hints, little tips. But please get into the description, the files in there, tag us in your screenshot of your wallpaper, and we'll put you up on our stories on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever it is you tag us on, we will put you up on our stories. But it's been an absolute pleasure. That's Tiago Alcantara. We'll be back next week, during the week, for more design tutorials. We're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how we create our match day edits as well, which is a completely different process. So again, thank you all so much. And as we always like to end our shows, you'll never walk alone. Peace, people.